What if the very act of waiting, that sacred, agonizing pause you've been told is spiritual protocol, is actually the static on the line? Let that land for a second. I'm not talking about divine timing, which is real as rain. I'm talking about the posture of your soul while the clock ticks. That hunched over, breath held, life on standby, feeling you've mistaken for devotion. It might just be the one thing jamming your own signal. You've been sitting by a spiritual telephone for what feels like eons, believing your task is to wait patiently for it to ring with news of him, of union, of your destiny fulfilled. You polish the receiver. You jump at every echo in the wires. Your entire emotional landscape has become a waiting room with bad magazines. But what if you've misread the instructions entirely? What if the call isn't coming to you? Because the call is waiting to come from you. Not a frantic dialing out into the void, but the simple, profound act of lifting the receiver to your ear and hearing, for the first time, the dial tone of your own completed being. That steady, unwavering hum, that's the frequency of home. Everything else is just a conversation trying to connect to it. We get so tangled in the poetry of longing, don't we? We romanticize the ache, weave entire identities around the beautiful tragedy of the not yet. It's a powerful story, but it's a story with a flaw in its core programming. It makes the arrival of love contingent on the presence of absence. It's like refusing to breathe in until someone brings you oxygen, never noticing you're surrounded by air. Your divine masculine isn't your oxygen. He's a fellow breather. And the reunion isn't the first gasp of air. It's the synchronized rhythm of two people who already remember how to breathe on their own, choosing to share the same atmosphere. So the ground shifts here today with this question. What if you stopped decorating the waiting room and simply walked out of it? Not in defiance, but in quiet recognition that you were never meant to live in an antechamber to your own life. The door isn't locked. It never was. You've just been so focused on the promise of a guide on the other side that you missed the handle, cool and familiar, right under your own hand. Turning it requires a different kind of courage, not the dramatic kind that braves a storm, but the astonishingly quiet kind that admits the storm was only ever happening in one room. Your room, and you can just step out. The static clears when you stop listening for a single, specific voice and instead become the source of a clear, unwavering tone. He'll hear it, they all do. But first, you have to fall in love with the sound of your own sovereignty. And that begins not with another ritual, but with a ruthless, giddy act of interior relocation. Let's talk about how to move when you finally understand you're already home. Let's get brutally, beautifully honest for a moment. You know that feeling, the one that coils in your stomach when you check your phone for the 1,000th time. The hollow echo in a quiet room that whispers, "Why hasn't he chosen you yet?" We've all been there, pacing the floorboards of our own longing. But what if I told you that feeling isn't a signal of his absence, but a broadcast of your own internal frequency? And worse, or better, what if he is, in the most literal, quantum sense, obligated to respond to it, not out of malice, but physics? Think of your energy, your core belief about yourself, as the blueprint for a house. This isn't a cute cottage. It's the entire structure of your relational reality. Every thought of "I'm not ready," every pang of "I need him to prove I'm lovable," is a line on that blueprint. You are the architect, drafting in real time. Now, enter your divine masculine. He is not the contractor. He's not even the tenant. He is, my dear, the echo. He is the sound your house makes. A spacious, open, sun-drenched villa with strong foundations doesn't produce a tight, fearful, rattling sound. It creates a resonance of peace, of fullness, of a presence so complete it doesn't need to strain to be heard. But a house built on the fault line of "Am I enough?" that structure groans. It whistles with the wind of lack, and the echo it produces, distant, flickering, unreliable. This is the mystery we so often miss. We stare at the echo, his hot and cold behavior, his silence, his apparent inability to step up, and we try to shout at it. We try to change the sound by polishing the walls, by hanging new art. That's your new haircut, your passionate social media post about healing, when the entire geometry of the room is off. The text says it with terrifying clarity. He mirrors your lowest point of unhealed shadow, not your curated, spiritually affirmed highlight reel, but the basement of your soul where you've stored the boxes labeled fraud, too much, fundamentally unchosen. He is contractually bound by the soul's own law of reflection to show you what's in those boxes. His running is the echo of you, running from yourself. So what's the rule break? It's the insanity of stopping mid-chase, turning away from the echo and walking calmly into your own basement. It's sitting with those dusty boxes in the dim light, not with shame, but with the curiosities of a compassionate archaeologist. Ah, you say, pulling out the belief that love is earned through suffering. I remember when I built this, it was a survival tactic then, but this load-bearing wall is made of papier-mâché. You find the old blueprint. You see the flaw in the foundation, the notion that another person's arrival is the certificate of occupancy for your worth. And with a breath that feels like it comes from the center of the earth, you revise it. This is where the magic, the real, gritty, unglamorous magic, happens. You don't just affirm, "I am worthy." You become the engineer who knows the structure is sound because you inspected every beam yourself. You stop seeking his reflection as proof of your beauty and become the light source itself. The moment you do, a profound and quiet alchemy occurs. The echo changes. It has to, because the sound hitting him is now different. It's no longer a desperate plea for validation, but an invitation written in the language of shared wholeness. You haven't manifested him. You've simply stopped building a house that repels its own echo. You've become a sanctuary, and sanctuaries have a gravitational pull all their own. And the wildest, most liberating joke of it all? You were the one holding both the blueprint and the key to the basement the whole time. All that drama, that exquisite pain, that cosmic hide-and-seek, it was just you, playing a breathtakingly elaborate game of catch with your own soul. The universe wasn't testing your patience with him, it was begging you to look in the mirror and finally, truly, see the architect. But what happens when you finally drop the blueprint and step into the completed house of your own sovereignty? The silence that follows isn't empty, it's potent. It's where the second rule, the one about chaos being your enemy, comes crashing in, or rather comes knocking with a gift. And that beautiful soul is where the plot gets really interesting. Okay, let's talk about the breakdown. Not the gentle, spiritual, release and let go kind. I mean the real one. The one where your Wi-Fi cuts out in the middle of an important message to him, where you burst into tears because the grocery store is out of your favorite tea, where a friendship of 10 years suddenly snaps over something trivial and you're left holding a phone that feels like a dead bird. Your first instinct, the very civilized one, is to panic, to see this as proof you're failing, that the universe is against you, that you've somehow messed up the good vibes only mandate. What if I told you with absolute love that you've got it all backwards? This isn't your signal falling apart. This is the signal. Think of it this way. You've spent years, maybe lifetimes, building a personal reality, a neat, contained little ecosystem. It's built on certain rules. I am this kind of person. This is what I can tolerate. Love looks like X and arrives through Y door. It's comfortable, familiar, and most importantly, it's known. It's the operating system you've been running on. Now, along comes a software update of cosmic proportions, the download for Union OS. It's infinitely more powerful, but it's incompatible with half-year-old programs. The second you hit install, the glitches begin. The old programs, those habits of people-pleasing, that app called Tracking His Energy, the widget of, I'll be happy when they start to crash. They have to, the new system can't run them. The chaos you're experiencing, that's not a virus. It's the forced shutdown of obsolete code. We've been sold a spiritual bill of goods that enlightenment is a silent, serene sunrise. But birth is messy. Transformation is noisy. A forest doesn't become a grassland through quiet meditation. It goes through a fire. And in the ashes, something new, something that needed more light, finally gets to grow. You are that forest, the sudden emotional releases, the inexplicable friction, the bizarre synchronicities that feel like the universe is winking at you with a slightly crazed eye. This is your fire. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to burn away the underbrush of your old reality, the dense thicket of conditions you thought were necessary for love to find you. Let me get technical for a heartbeat. In energy work, there's a concept of vibrational congruence. Your physical world is a literal, material echo of your dominant inner frequency, just like we talked about with the mirror. But when you make a profound inner shift, when you truly claim that sovereign, I am whole frequency, there's a lag time. Your soul is broadcasting from the new tower, but your physical life is still playing the old tapes from the old station. The chaos is the interference pattern. It's the static between stations. The universe isn't causing the drama. It's highlighting with neon spray paint everything that's still tuned to the old separation frequency channel. That friend who drains you? A walking, talking reminder of your old I have to earn love setting. The job that feels soul-crushing? A physical structure built on the old small me blueprint. The sudden irrational craving to move to a new city or paint your walls a wild color. That's the new signal breaking through, trying to build a receiver in your world. So your sacred task in all this isn't to stop the glitches. It's to become a cosmic detective. When the meltdown happens, you don't just drown in the feeling. You lean in with a curious, almost scientific tenderness and you ask, What old frequency does this represent? Is this frustration really about the trash not being taken out? Or is it the last straw of a lifetime of feeling unheard? Is this grief over a fading connection really about them? Or is it you mourning the version of yourself that needed that connection to feel valid? The chaos is giving you data, pure, uncensored, invaluable intel on what still needs to be alchemized within you. It's handing you the final pieces of the puzzle you didn't even know were missing. And the beautiful, hilarious irony, by trying to fix the chaos, to smooth everything back over to the way it was, you are literally fighting for your limitations. You're begging to get back into a cage whose door has just swung open. The resistance you feel, that heavy, why is everything so hard feeling, isn't the path being blocked. It's the final, desperate grip of the old world on your ankles as you try to step into the new one. The universe is quite literally rearranging the set pieces of your life to match the starring role you're now playing, the sovereign in union. Of course, the old backdrop doesn't fit. It wasn't built for this much light. So the next time your computer freezes, or a plan spectacularly falls apart, or you feel a sob rise for no reason, take a breath, smile even, touch your hand to your heart and whisper, "Ah, there goes another piece of the old map. Thank you. I don't need it where I'm going." This sacred agitation is the sound of your future self, knocking down walls to make room for a love that can finally fit inside your life. And you know the wildest part? Once you stop fighting these glitches, you start to sense the pattern in them. You begin to feel the rhythm of the demolition, and beneath it, the steady hum of what's being built. That's when you realize the most startling truth of all. This isn't random chaos. It's a conversation. And the universe is waiting with bated breath to see if you'll finally learn the language. So here you are, standing in the quiet after the storm of understanding, the blueprint of the old house crumpled in one hand, the curious, still buzzing pieces of your glitching reality in the other. You've seen the mechanism, the mirror, the echo, the purposeful chaos. It can feel like a magnificent, exhausting revelation, like you've been handed the master key to a labyrinth you've been running through for years. And now, the only question that remains, hanging in the air, softer than a breath, is, what do you do with a key when the walls themselves have begun to fade? This, beautiful soul, is where the path transcends understanding and becomes embodiment. It's the moment the map dissolves into the territory. You are no longer the archaeologist sifting through ruins, nor the engineer analyzing the blueprint. You are the inhabitant of a new land. And the final, most profound rule break is this. You must stop relating to your wholeness as a destination and start experiencing it as your point of origin. It's the difference between painfully stretching to touch the tip of a mountain you've been climbing and realizing, with a dizzying laugh, that you are the ground from which the mountain grows. Think of it like this. You've spent so long learning the notes to the song of reunion, studying the sheet music of surrender, practicing the scales of self-love, rehearsing the chords of release. You've become a virtuoso of the theory of union. But now, the universe is gently, firmly taking the sheet music away. It's asking you to stop performing the song, and to simply be the instrument through which it plays. The music isn't out there to be achieved. It's the resonance that happens when you are, finally, authentically, unapologetically you. The reunion you seek is not a duet you're waiting to sing with another. It's the harmony that automatically arises when your own note is clear, sustained, and true. This is the secret they rarely tell you about the end of the journey. It looks suspiciously like a beginning, but one devoid of frenzy. There's no more working on yourself, because the self you were working on was the fictional character of the seeker. That character's arc is complete. What's left is a presence, a consciousness, a being who, when old pangs of lack arise, doesn't rush to fix them, but smiles at them like old faded postcards from a country she no longer visits. Remember when we thought the weather there mattered? There's a gentle, unshakable humor to it all. Your life will stop being a decoding project and start becoming a living landscape. The synchronicities won't be clues to solve, but decorations on a path you're already walking. The dreams won't be prophecies to interpret, but intimate letters from a beloved you no longer feel separate from, because that beloved is also you. The divine masculine's movements in the physical realm will cease to be the central plot of your story and become a natural, rhythmic occurrence within a shared field you both occupy, like two birds catching the same thermal current. You won't be waiting for him. You'll be so deeply engaged in the sacred simplicity of your own existence, the taste of your morning coffee, the texture of your own thoughts, the quiet joy of a preference expressed, that his arrival will feel less like an event and more like a seamless unfolding, like when you're humming a tune alone in the kitchen and someone walks in and, without missing a beat, harmonizes. This is the attainable, relevant hope. It's not a fairy tale ending of eternal bliss. It's the profound relief of coming home to a self that was never broken, to a love that was never outside of you. It's trading the exhausting, epic myth of the twin flame chase for the quiet, miraculous reality of integrated soulhood. You are not earning a miracle. You are settling into the mundane, breathtaking miracle of your own completeness. And from that place, every connection, every glance, every moment is already a reunion with life itself. So take a deep, real breath. Feel the air fill not just your lungs, but the space where the anxiety used to live. The work wasn't to make you worthy of a grand love. It was to sand away everything in you that couldn't recognize that you are made of it. You are the ocean, learning to stop seeking waves. Just be vast, just be deep, and watch with tender amusement as every river finds its way home. And honestly, the most fascinating part isn't the stillness you find. It's the kind of motion that begins from this place of absolute center, a creative, generative, playful energy that has nothing left to prove. But that's a story for a day when you're already bored of paradise and ready to build something new from its limitless clay.